Every time when I hear about competition, I already thinking money, money, money. And I'm sure it's a similar thing to you. My name is Shilibo Mutiba. Welcome to the Tax Awareness Show. Today is a special edition where we're talking money. What do I mean by money? I'm talking about the competition that we're talking about, SME Toolkit business plan competition. Yes, we're talking everything to do with the competition for you as SME owners. Today in the studio, I'm with Naseerah and Johnson. You know what? We're just going to relax. I want them to introduce themselves. I want them to take us through this competition so that you and I can enter. I'm sure I can enter if there's no conflict of interest, right? So welcome, colleagues Johnson and Naseerah. Please introduce yourself. Feel free. Tell us more about this competition that we are all excited about it. I'm sure even the audience is excited. They want to be part of this. And I'm told that this is actually out. It was launched on the 16th of June, if I'm not mistaken. So please tell us, who are you? How you get involved in this competition? What is this competition about?
Good morning, Shiliboy. My name is Naseerah Cassojee, and I'm the Enterprise Development Manager for Business Partners. And yes, competitions are really exciting, especially for our entrepreneurs. The SME Toolkit Business Plan competition is in its 16th year.
Wow, that's quite some time, eh?
Yes, we've been running for quite some time. And really, the idea behind the SME Toolkit is that we try and inspire aspiring entrepreneurs, right? We want to get them ready for funding. We want to get them to understand the importance of having the fundamentals right in their businesses. So essentially what we focus on in the SME Toolkit competition is helping entrepreneurs or aspiring entrepreneurs build their business plans from the ground up, understanding what it is that they want to offer the market, understanding what service or product it is that they're offering, and understanding really the strategy behind it. So in terms of your branding, your marketing, your financials, helping them understand the small from 0 to 10, how that works and how we put it together so that not only do they understand their businesses, but when they approach stakeholders for funding, it makes it an easier adjustment for them as well.
It's all about empowerment. Johnson, who's Johnson and how are you involved in this competition?
My name is Johnson Kekana, coordinator for the SME Toolkit Business Plan competition.
Okay, so
my right hand.
Oh, okay, I see. No, that's good. That's very good. But tell me, you kind of already highlighted what inspired the creation of this. Maybe in particular, what really inspired the creation of this? I know it's quite a noble thing. I mean, I was speaking to one of the MEC of finance in the country, and to say, it's very, very important that the country and the government and the private sector needs to come together in empowering SMEs, particularly that the SMEs are the driving engine of job creation. Absolutely. So what really inspired this? I mean, I know you already mentioned, what really inspired the creation of this competition?
So the thing is, as you know, Business Partners is a funding organization, right? And we fund small businesses from 500,000 to 50 million. What we came to understand is oftentimes people would come to us for funding and the basics were not there. So people have an idea. Entrepreneurs are, they're in their brain. They're all about innovation and creation. They're all about living in the dream, right? Living out that dream sometimes can become quite complicated because it requires you to have documentation, paperwork. So that's really important.
You need to be an administrator.
Yes. And so Business Partners then established that the way to help these entrepreneurs is to get them to understand the importance of compliance, understand the importance of paperwork behind that idea. And entrepreneurs, like I say, they're in their heads all the time. And we wanted to hold their hand and say, let's walk the journey together and let's help you understand how you take what's in your head, put it down on paper so that everybody else can relate to it better. And that's how the formation of SME Toolkit came to be.
My understanding, I mean, I know that Business Partner, it's primarily focusing on financing SME sector.
Yes.
How do you align this competition with the broader mission of Business Partners?
Well, if you start nurturing the mind when it's quite young, which is what SME Toolkit does, it focuses on the youth. You basically build the profile up in such a way that when it comes time for them to be funding ready, there are a number of institutions that are readily available. Whether they come to Business Partners or not is not is not important for us. It's about understanding and getting them ready for funding to go out in the economy and add to the ecosystem, the SME ecosystem.
Getting them ready for funding. We'll
Yes.
talk about some of the things that you have learned, you have observed that some of the SMEs, owners or SME and these businesses are actually never ready for funding.
Yes.
So what do you experience and what you actually have identified, and how did you contribute to the improvement of such? We'll get to that
Yes,
later on. But tell me, someone could be watching and say, do I qualify? Like myself, I mean, I want to be empowered, right?
Yes.
So, but the question is, who can participate in this competition? You get on me. So I think maybe let's unpack that. Who really can participate in this competition?
Any infant who is between the ages of 18 and 40, they can participate. If they've got an idea, if they've already started something small on the side, they're hustling, they've got a service they're offering, but it's not large scale. They understand that there's money coming into the business, but they don't really know what to do with the money once it comes in, or they're selling a product. They don't know how to expand the business. SME Toolkit it's very flexible. And the idea is that we put you in a room, you enter the competition, right? You fill out the form. We then invite you to a series of workshops. In those workshops, we've got mentors who come through, and they basically teach you the basics of your marketing, the basics of your branding of your business, the basics of your financials, how having those ready and understanding how to manage cash flow in your business, how to manage employees in your business. We basically help them with the fundamentals of starting a business.
The fundamentals of starting business. You mentioned issues of mentorship and training. That, to me, then it sounds like in this competition, there are stages.
Yes, absolutely.
I can think of. I mean, like I mentioned that you guys launch on the 16th of June. And speaking of that, there's a launch, and then there's probably, selections, and then there's judging. But take me through all these stages that are involved so that they've got a clear picture of expectations around this competition.
Yeah. So we launched the competition. People are then encouraged to go through to our website and fill out their details on the website. So name, surname, basic information, ID, what it is that they do, whether you're still in varsity, whether you're already in an organization yourself. You then submit that through to us. From there, we have you on a database, and we will start emailing you the dates and places of where these workshops will take place. So SME Toolkit, we want to be all-inclusive. So we try and have workshops nationally around the country. And we have our facilitators go out to these workshops. You'll be invited to attend the workshop. We'll have about a series of 10 workshops nationally. Once the workshops have concluded, it is understood that post your workshops, you'll have all of the information that you need in order to submit a full business plan to business partners. And from there, we'll have a judging panel that will sit down, and they'll go through all of those entries. We'll narrow it down to about 15 finalists. Then we'll have a judging panel that will interview each and every one of those finalists just to get a true understanding of their business or what it is that they're trying to put together. And thereafter, we have the awards.
Maybe let me come in there. Sounds like these workshops are open for everyone. Am I correct?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Even if you have not put your name down on our website, if you happen to see it on Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, doesn't matter.
You can attend.
Yes, because we advertise all of these workshops that we have. So if we're having one in Cape Town, if we're having one in Limpopo, you will know the information is there, it's readily available. All you need to do is show up.
But it's also important that you actually go on the website and fill up your details, because some information may be communicated through the database that you guys have. Maybe speak of the website. What is the website that someone needs to go into?
The SME Toolkit.
Okay.
.co.za.
Okay,
So
SME Toolkit.
SMEtoolkit.co.za.
Okay, now you've heard that, and you can definitely go there. Maybe speaking of the workshops, there's support, some form of support that is provided to
our facilitators are there to provide.
So what sort of support is provided to these SMEs?
So different workshops will focus on different topics. So take, for example, we have the marketing workshop, right? You come in and the facilitator will walk you through the basic understanding of what marketing is.
Correct.
In general. And then we'll narrow it down into what it means for entrepreneurs and how it is such an important tool for you to market your business, to get your business out there. so that people understand what it is that you do. We also focus a lot on the language in terms of how to communicate this information, because a lot of the times people think marketing is basically just putting an advert out and saying, okay, this is what I do.
Yeah.
But language plays an important role. So we teach them what it is that you need to say, how you need to communicate your product or your service offering, and then how to get people to relate to that. So, we need to speak to people's needs. And then there's the part of wanting to speak to people's wants as well. So it's about getting them to understand how everything comes together as a whole and how that impacts whatever business it is that they're hoping to start or have already started.
One of the things that I always tell people about success is around being able to build social capital. And I'll tell you where I'm coming from. Earlier on, you mentioned issue of mentorship and training.
Yeah.
To me, if I've got an opportunity to be mentored by one of the facilitators at Business Partner Workshop, it's an opportunity for me to leverage and network with that person. Mm-hmm. Perhaps even beyond this mentorship program, I can actually have contacts and my business can grow. That's the role and the importance of the mentorship. But how are you guys seeing the role of the mentorship and training actually supporting these SMEs?
It's actually beautiful because they build such good relationships with one another, right? So before I get onto the topic of the mentorship, a lot of the times these guys sit in a room with one another. And I'm talking about participants now. They network with each other. They build contacts. And as a result, they start collaborating. Business ideas come together and they realize that the two of us could actually be doing something a lot bigger. So we've seen that happen a few times. With the mentors that we have also, they're so passionate about what it is that they do. They're so passionate about teaching and getting these guys out on the ground. So they build really, really fruitful networks with one another. Post the workshops, these guys, the mentors, they actually are willing to assist the participants outside of the business partners space. So we find that to be so inspiring for us, because it means that not only are we passionate about what we do, but the people that we bring on board are just as passionate about small business and about growing these guys. So that's really important.
Maybe, Johnson, let me bring you here. As a coordinator, you deal with these guys. You see these guys coming in. Some of them, you realize they're struggling with the language. They're struggling with putting documents together. What has been your experience where you've seen these guys transforming from this struggling to, you'll be saying, listen, give me this document, give me that. And you realize they're battling. But then you're seeing them beyond that. After attending all this program, they come out, they're very transformed. How did that make you feel?
Very great, I must say. You see someone starting so small to them actually making it big into the SME space.
Let me bring you also, Naseerah, here on the issue of these guys making mistakes. He mentioned that he saw these guys making mistakes, and then obviously then he assisted them, and then they transformed in being this better person. What are some of the mistakes that you guys have seen? You guys even tackle them and transforming these guys into being these better SMEs? I
think it's just like you said. You see guys you ask them for something simple, like let's say, can we have some of your financials? Let's say the business is operational already and they've got some financials. Bank statement, something simple. I don't think it's necessarily the idea that they don't have it or they can't produce it, but really what it is the fear around it. Right? So it's getting yourself to come down to their level and say, look, really all we're trying to ascertain is how do we get you to the next step? And we talk them through it. What it is that's going on your bank statements, what it is that's happening in your financials, where are you channeling money where there seems to be, there's no use for this and we can channel it in a better direction, right? A lot of the times people think that most of the cash flow in their business needs to go for stock. It's not necessarily the case. Why are we not talking or putting more emphasis on compliance, business compliance? Because we underestimate the power of compliance and the reputation that it has on your business, the impact it has on the relationship that you carry with your stakeholders. So that's really important. And we try and get them to understand, to kind of do away with some of the fear, hold their hand and say, let's do this together. Let's help you. Let's guide you. Let's try and see how we figure out your tax compliance. Let's try and figure out how we get your HR compliance on board. You know, those types of things. Is your business registered? Do you have the appropriate documentation? Because the reality is, whether we like it or not, we can't avoid it. If you are looking to scale your business, all of these paperwork, all these documentation plays a very vital role in terms of how big your company is actually going to get and how, or whether you're going to stay low key and small. It matters. It really does matter.
It sounds like this competition overall, it helps these guys to prepare to face the business challenges out there. I mean, we're talking tax compliance. I mean, you already spoke of the basics. I mean, it reminds me that having dealt a lot with SMEs, one of the things that I've learned is ability to understand and bridge the tension between SARS and SMEs.
Yes.
So people have got this tension and they're scared of engaging with SARS, and as a result, they may not know that certain deadlines needs to be met, not knowing record keeping that SARS is actually required in these guys, or not even knowing for that matter that, I mean, I know that some people will say, but Shiliboy, should I be paying tax on this income that I'm earning?
Yes.
And those are realities. And
they are legal obligations.
Yes, and there are legal obligations such that if you don't end up meeting those, they can actually collapse your business. But speaking of that, how is this competition actually assisting these guys to face these business challenges out there? I mean, also the issue of you needing to be ready for access to funding, because access to market, you need to get your business ready in terms of these compliances such that you are able to be ready for any of these business challenges that you may encounter.
Well, one of the first workshops that we essentially do is compliance focused, right? So the facilitator comes in and he or she speaks on what it is. What are the first steps? Registering your business, right? Getting an appropriate email address, registering a domain for your business.
Oh, wow.
Then we move up and then we say, okay, fine. If you are turning over this much, now this is where your tax compliance matters. If you feel your business is scaled enough to bring another person in, now we need to talk about UIF. Now we need to talk about HR matters. So it's about taking it step by step, but starting at the basics, which is first, is your business registered? Do you have a name for your business? Because also the reality is, how often do we tell people or entrepreneurs that when somebody sees an email from a Gmail account, are they taking you seriously? Do they actually think that this is worthwhile engaging with somebody? No, a lot of us will think it, especially when we work in corporate, especially when we work for finance organizations, we will think it, but we won't say it. And it is something that's really very vital to get them to understand. Register your business. Take your business as seriously as you want someone else to take it.
Maybe take me through this, because this is I'm very excited about these. And I wish some of us at the beginning, when we started this entrepreneurial journey, we could have got these. Maybe we wouldn't have made some of the mistakes that we've made in business. Which provinces do you guys cover with these workshops? Because this is amazing.
Well, the participation and the provinces that we choose to have the workshops in is predominantly from where we see the registrations are coming from. Right? Okay. But it doesn't limit us. We have workshops in Bloemfontein. We've got it in Gauteng, Pretoria, Cape Town, KZN. We've had in Limpopo. We cover quite a range, but it is dependent on where our registrations come from. Because if we don't see enough of an intake, then we cannot facilitate the workshop.
It doesn't make
because it needs to make financial sense.
So now I'm challenging you out there to register as much as possible. Call all your business forums, call all your related businesses within your communities to participate in registering for this, because if you don't register, business partner is not going to take this competition and this free training. They're free.
Yes,
my understanding. Free. Exactly. Free trainings. So all you need to do is to register so that you show an interest and you're saying, I need to participate in these workshops. So if you don't register, you are in Mpumalanga, you are in Limpopo, Northwest, you are Northern Cape for that matter.
Yes.
If you don't register, you are definitely not going to be part. Maybe tell me something. Do you guys also work with any other stakeholders to try to drive this interest in I mean, some people may not see these adverts and the competition out there and websites may not be aware of. Do you try to work with stakeholders in various provinces to ensure that people are aware of this?
We try and work with some of the universities within certain provinces. Obviously, it's dependent on the willingness of all participants to come on board, but we do try and get the word out there as much as possible. Social media seems to be one of our biggest tools, and that's also why I want to say that if anybody is still unclear as to what exactly SME Toolkit is, www.smetoolkit.co.za. That platform is so extensive in terms of the information that we put on, so much so that you could even find worksheets, budgeting worksheets on the form that can just help you, get you to understand the basics of budgeting.
Wow.
We do have those kinds of templates on the website, and that will allow anybody who wants to know a little bit more and understand whether it's worth it to come and attend a workshop, start at the website. That's the best place, because every type of information that you need in order to start the business is on there. We've got loaded documents from budgeting, tax, compliance, HR, marketing, branding, and that's just the basics, right? Because we always believe having someone talk you through it, like a facilitator in a room, and you're there, you feel it, you're loving it, it's in that moment. But if that is still something that you're questioning whether you want to attend, the website will give you a better understanding, because it will give you the basics of what we cover in the workshop.
So those downloads are free?
Free
okay,
download.
we love free things, right? So, I mean, it's very important that we understand that there's no comeback. I don't want to download something and then tomorrow I'm told that, no, man, Shilibo, you owe this and this much, you download this. Guys, it's free. So, and I think I'll advise people to go and download these, go through them, and then when you go to the workshop, you would have went through those downloads, and then you are ready to ask certain questions. You say, I tried to use this template, it's not working here, it's working here, I don't understand the output of this, I put these inputs, but I don't understand the output of this. And then the facilitators can be able to assist you. Go into the SME Toolkit.co.za, and then you'll be able to engage with those downloads. I'm definitely going to do that. I'll share with those that you can reach out to me, I'll assist you. I'm more than happy to assist you. But speaking of the competition, I'm sure there have been success stories. Maybe take us through some of your recent success stories coming out of this competition.
Yeah. So in the beginning of this year, our first or overall winner for the SME Toolkit was RSF Tutorials. Right? And they received a 50,000 Rand cash prize.
Oh, money.
Yes.
I told you, I told you guys that when I hear competition, I hear money. So you see, I wasn't wrong.
And they also received a 50,000 Rand mentorship voucher. So basically, business partners will appoint a mentor to them, and they can use that to see and scale the business and deal with any types of issues that they may be struggling with currently. So there's different categories within the competition. We've got a first runner-up. That first runner-up receives a 20,000 Rand cash prize as well as a 20,000 Rand mentorship voucher. The second runner-up, 30,000 Rand cash prize, 30,000 Rand mentorship voucher. And then, like I said, the overall winner is 50,000 cash, 50,000 mentorship. But in addition to that, every single person who's a finalist within the competition receives a 10,000 Rand mentorship voucher. And honestly, we've seen such amazing stories, because you think somebody's a finalist and they didn't make it through, that they would feel a little bit demotivated. But it's exactly the opposite in the SME Toolkit. We see them coming to us and approaching us and telling us, listen, please appoint a mentor to me. I really want to use this money and I really want to see what I can do to make my business better or to get my business off the ground. What are the first steps? And I must say, the group of facilitators that we use are so amazing, because, 10,000 Rand in today's economy is not a lot of money, right? But they really go the mile. They really go the mile with helping these entrants and the finalists and getting them to use that money to the best of their ability. And a lot of the times, these entrants come back way after that 10,000 Rand voucher is done. And now they start using money out of their own pocket because the mentorship is working that well for them.
Maybe let me take a step back. This winner that you said RSF Tutorials.
Yes.
Maybe speaking of them, who are they? What was your experience dealing with them? What made them overall winner? Take us through that, because that could be something that someone needs to prepare themselves to be similar to that.
You want to talk on RSF Tutorials?
Yeah. Okay. They've been to a few workshops. they've been entering the competition for like five years.
Yeah.
And eventually they got to make it at the end.
What do they do?
They are teachers.
Okay.
They tutor children in school. Yes, high school predominantly, that's their biggest focus. But they've got a very, call it personalized touch. RSF Tutorials is very personal in terms of how they tutor and how they mentor your child, whether it is through maths, history, geography, doesn't matter. Okay. So the children are actually so excited to have them. So they're a group of individuals who started this organization, started as 2 business owners, and eventually brought other guys on board as well to form the organization. But essentially the basic of what they do is they tutor children, school kids.
Maybe take me through this. We all know that we need a thriving entrepreneurial ecosystem in the country to create jobs. What are your breaking rights as the SME Toolkit team to say we are actually contributing to fostering and growing entrepreneurial ecosystem? How would you brag about it?
We see so many of our finalists go on to run successful businesses. That in itself is a contribution to our economy. The job creation alone that comes from that is so amazing, because as small as a business is, the minute they go off and say, I need to appoint someone because my business is doing enough to be able to sustain one salary, we take pride in that. We take pride in that.
That's that's exactly that. We want to create jobs. We want to create people who are self-sufficient.
And we've seen people from all types of industries. I'm talking manufacturing. We've seen farming. We've seen people produce build a flower business, for instance. Somebody who's got an oil business, somebody who's got a farming chicken business. We've seen so many. Somebody's got a spice business who grows their own, herbs and spices, and now is literally in Checkers. Yeah. So we've seen these guys come from nothing and then go off to do some amazing work.
Maybe let me ask questions that will typically be something that someone else watching may wonder. Do I need to have already been operating to enter this competition?
No, you don't.
Okay, so I could be having an idea and then I want to actually formalize it, then I can come and join the workshops.
And that is what's so great about SME Toolkit, is that we're not focusing on one group of people. We're not focusing on one target market, right? We're focusing on somebody who's coming and saying, listen, in my mind, this is something that I think could really work as a business idea. And we're sitting down with you and we're listening.
Wow.
And we're saying, what is it? Tell us and let us help you put together something. We've also have people that come to us and say, listen, I've been trading for the last year, but how do I do more?
Yes.
What do I do to get this thing fully off the ground?
Yes.
Then we have our guys that come in and say, I'm happy with where it's at, but I just want to know how it is that I manage my money within my business so I can sustain this thing. We help them.
Financial literacy. It's a very, very crucial skill. Very, very important. Maybe take us through, what are the future plans with the competitions?
Well, we'd like to scale. We'd like to see the competition reach far and wide in terms of expanding our entrance, expanding our prize offering, having more finalists on board. But in order to do that, we need more people to enter, obviously, right? We want to really see what the market is about. We really want to see what are the kind of ideas that our youth has out there. We'd also like to take the competition into various universities, start entrepreneurship as a thought process within the university spectrum. And we know that they have things like entrepreneurship courses, right? But it's about understanding that once you're done with that course, you've got an institution or an organization like Business Partners and SME Toolkit that's standing behind you and saying, listen, let's rally behind you and let's help you do this. It's about understanding that there's more to entrepreneurship than just saying, look, I'm an entrepreneur and I own a business. No, because you're doing so much more for the economy. You're creating jobs. You adding to the economy cash flow. That is important to understand. So the more people understand the significance and the importance behind entrepreneurship, the more they can see that there's organizations like Business Partners and many others that are rallying behind them, trying to help them support the dream.
Earlier on, you spoke about scaling. One thing that I always tell people about being an entrepreneur is that you also you can start small. It's very important to start small. It's very important to learn the basics and grow gradually. But also at the back of your mind, you need to think about being big and grow and scaling. What advice would you give to these entrepreneurs to when it comes to scaling their ventures?
I think it's about understanding the capacity within the business, because the thing about entrepreneurship and scaling your business is if it happens too fast, it can be dangerous.
Yeah, true.
It doesn't happen quick enough, that too can be dangerous. It's about finding the sweet spot, right? And oftentimes we say to guys, you can't do it on your own. You need people. You need an ecosystem. You need a support system. Find your support system that can help you understand. Because an entrepreneur is all things to their business, literally all things to their business. They're the accountant, the HR manager, the financial manager, the MD, they're all of it. But it's about understanding and bringing people to walk the journey with you that have the certain skill set to be able to can alleviate some of the pressure off of your plate, because one person can't do it all in a business.
That's true. That's
so
true.
Once you have your network and you understand that there's a purpose for each person in your business, that's when scaling happens, and it happens automatically.
But maybe speak of this, we speak of the network also. This workshop, what sort of have you seen being the network being developed out of people meeting, others they end up doing business together? What has been your experience with that?
Well, they love, the thing with networking is that it's so public, but it's also so private at the same time, right? So people
That's
don't want
so
to
true.
talk.
Yeah.
But I mean, you see them sitting in that workshop room and they taking down numbers and they're making appointments to meet with each other.
Nice.
And we've seen them come to the finalist stage and say, no, I've spoken to so-and-so and he was also in the room. And so we've decided that we're going to try and do something on the side together, as an added benefit to what we already here for. So we see it happen all the time, because the thing is the youth are also very accustomed and acclimed to wanting to network, wanting to be with people of their
age, peers, and things like that.
Understanding.
And they understand the hustling.
Yes.
They understand so much. But maybe tell me, earlier when you spoke that for you guys to take the workshops to different provinces will depend on the registration in those respective provinces.
Yes.
If I'm sitting in Mpumalanga and I want to attend Gauteng workshops, would I be allowed to attend, or do I need any form of permission?
No. Anybody can attend any workshop. If you've seen something that says we're having a workshop, please come through.
Do I need to RSVP? Because I'm in the
It would be nice to RSVP because generally we cater accordingly. So, we want to make sure that we've got enough bums on seats, but we also want to make sure we have enough seats for all the guys that arrive. So we do ask people to RSVP, but literally there's nothing that is a requirement from your side except to come and sit and listen to the information.
Do I need to pay anything? No joining fee, nothing. No money. It is a full day workshop. It is a full day workshop, a full 1 day workshop. We provide meals, we provide refreshments. All we need is for you to come and attend. Okay, so it's 1 day, full day workshop from 8 o'clock maybe to 5 o'clock. Or until 3 o'clock. So one can travel in between the provinces. That's actually amazing. Any WhatsApp number that you guys have within that is linked to the competition, or the only way people that can reach us is through the website? Maybe just remind them website for now.
The website is www.smetoolkit.co.za. Right?
Okay.
On the website, we've also got a QRS code. Okay. So once you click on that code, it can take you directly to our WhatsApp line as well. On that WhatsApp line, we basically we answer any questions that anybody has, because sometimes guys leave the workshop, they don't always remember all of the content that was provided there. That WhatsApp line is then there for you to ask any question that you need. In the time between the workshop ending and us waiting for the submission of the business plan, guys will struggle. They'll ask certain questions. Listen, you said something about branding, but I couldn't really understand what it was. I don't remember. Could you just refresh? We have a facilitator that's on the WhatsApp line all the time, literally all the time, and they answer all of the questions, and then our team is there as well to answer whatever questions that the guys ask. And the other thing is that while we have the WhatsApp and all of that, we often find that guys they will write the business plan, but there'll be elements missing from the business plan.
Yes, correct.
So we do say to them, look, if there's something that you feel that is missing from there and you're stuck, right? That doesn't mean that you don't have us at your disposal. Reach out to us. let us help you, let us guide you through it. And then just to ensure that the submission that you're putting forward is a full and complete submission.
You're speaking about missing items within their business plan. And this is where the importance of solid business plan. We'll speak about how important it is to have a solid business plan. What are some of the things that you see that are common that SMEs are struggling with?
Financials. They always leave out the financials. And when I say the financials, I'm talking about just understanding the cost of putting your business together. So if you're going to be selling a product, what are you selling the product for, right? If you need to have a location for your business or you need to rent an office, did you put that down? Do you understand what it is to be tax compliant and what that's going to cost you? Do you understand what the finance behind registering your domain is? A lot of the times people know that it's free, but there's an obligation there too. There is a legal obligation that comes up once you have to renew that domain all the time, right? If you're going to set up a website, what is that going to cost? So the idea that you need to have this in your business plan is, again, so that anybody else looking at that document fully understands what obligations are there should they want to come in and assist your business.
So I'm assuming that then those issues these guys are being equipped during the workshops. Beyond the workshop, maybe let's unpack this further. Beyond the workshops, then what happens with those selected ones? Is there any form of exclusive training that these selected ones they go?
No. Okay. Everybody that attends the workshop. So remember, if you're attending a workshop, you have not given a submission as yet, right? Okay. We even have people who give us submissions who have never attended the workshop.
Oh, interesting.
We've also experienced that. So they come to the workshop and we guide them through it. And like I say, there'll be different workshops that focus on different elements. So you get to choose whether you want to attend all of the workshops or whether you're going to attend specific ones, the ones that's only related to marketing and the one that's only related to financials. For those people who can't attend a physical workshop as well, we do offer 3 online workshops. And in that online workshops, we cover all of the aspects that we would have covered in the physical workshop.
Okay, maybe let's unpack this online workshop. How does it work and when do you guys normally host it?
We host it in between the physical workshops that we're having because, like I say, we always have a group of people that are unable to make the physical workshop. We have to take into consideration that people have many obligations that take up their time. So those workshops are also communicated and we'll say, look, we're having an online workshop on the 27th of July. We typically would then ask them to register on the website for the online one and specify, because there is a page on the website that asks you whether you'll be attending a virtual or physical.
Okay.
And once we take all of that information, we put you then into the WhatsApp group and we'll communicate all of that information. We'll set up a Teams link. We'll send the Teams link out to everybody, and that's when they'll be able to join onto
the online one.
Virtual.
So how do I register for the online one?
Same, you go onto the SME Toolkit website and you complete that form, because everybody is essentially going to be getting the same information. Because everybody wants to know when are the workshops happening.
Yes.
The idea is just that we give you a variety of options, right?
Okay.
So we have Joburg, we have Pretoria.
Yeah.
Some people want to attend Pretoria, some people want to attend Joburg.
Yes.
Then there's those who can't attend either.
Yeah.
That's when we have the one for the online.
Okay.
And the nice thing about online is you can be sitting anywhere and join in.
Yes, correct. Yes. So it's also the online one is the full day workshop.
Full day workshop.
Okay. So the SME Toolkit business plan competition is launched on the 16th of June. It's already launched. So you can go into the smetoolkit.co.za and then register. The workshops are there. The information about the workshops is there. If you are, for registry, if you are in Mpumalanga, Limpopo, Gauteng, and things like that, you just need to indicate that. And then more and more information will be uploaded, such as once the workshop are planned, because they firstly have to get the database of you guys registering. Then from there, they will allocate the provinces, and then also they will schedule the date. But I think make the website your friend. And I'm also going to be asking them to share their WhatsApp number where you can actually ask further questions. Do we have that WhatsApp number?
Yeah. 079.
Maybe let's take that, right? 079
825
1169.
1169.
Okay. So now we've got that WhatsApp number that you can reach the SME Toolkit Business Plan team, where you can ask all the questions that you think Shilibo didn't do justice for you to ask them. So the number is 079-825-1169. 079-825-1169. Then you can reach out to the team at SME Toolkit Business Plan Competition. Then they'll guide you through what you need to do. And it sounds so simple. Nothing. You can even register, be at home, and you've got no worries. You listen, you watch the virtual one. If you think you are ready to go and submit your business plan, you can submit. There are downloads that you can get on the website. You can use them and ask the question during the workshop, so that they unpack those downloads that you can be able to use them within your business. That has been amazing, guys. Johnson and Naseerah, thank you so much for joining me. Any last parting shots?
I think it would also just be nice for anybody who's watching to go onto any of our socials, because if they want a physical idea of what it is that happens within the competition, all our Facebook is SME Toolkit Business Partners page, and then on LinkedIn, SME Toolkit Business Partners page, SME Toolkit on TikTok as well. And there you'll see what our awards look like, what our workshops look like, because we basically put that online as well. So everybody has an understanding of what they're getting themselves into once they go on.
Love it. Yeah. Johnson?
So if they maybe want to reach out to us via email, smetoolkit@businesspartners.co.za.
Okay, so guys, you don't have any excuse. You've got email address smetoolkit@businesspartners.co.za. You've got a WhatsApp number. It's been provided to you. On social media, you can connect them. TikTok, I know you love TikTok, so am I. TikTok, LinkedIn, and Facebook, you can connect with the guys so that you can have a feel. By the way, we didn't even ask, when is the closing date for registration?
1st of July.
30. Oh, so you've got the entire 1 month and a half to actually register and be part of this amazing initiative by business partners. That's why we love business partners. That's why they're so important and they're crucial. And there's a call from all the state organs to say we need private sector to participate in empowering SMEs so that we create more and more jobs. And you guys who are SME owners, you're best positioned to create jobs. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Shilibo. I'm your host of the Tax Awareness Show. We brought you the special edition on SME Toolkit Business Plan Competition, brought to you by Business Partners. Thank you for watching.